Okay, so we're starting the class. Today I'll teach you how to make notes. You know what notes are? Do you have any idea? What is that particular thing, like notes? Some main points from some documents, right? So, notes or note making. So this is a book, Things Fall Apart, written by Chinua Achebe. Okay, so you read this book once, twice, 3 times, but sometimes you forget the main stuffs. What do you want? Shatala থেকে আসছো? Thank you. এত কষ্ট করে আসার দরকার ছিল ম্যাডাম নাই ক্লাসে? তাইলে? ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। আরও কি? ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। ও হচ্ছে তোমাদের 15 ব্যাচের বড় আপু। শেয়ার করে খাবো, ঠিক আছে, ওকে, আল্লাহ হাফিজ। কি বলতেছিলাম? We'll make notes, okay? So this is a book written by Chinua Achebe. The name of the book is Things Fall Apart. You don't have to write it down. Okay, I'm just giving an example. So you read this book once. You have an exam ahead. You have to read it. You read it once. You don't have time to revise it. So how will you take some important documents from the book so that you can revise it all at once? Okay, you'll just see the documents and you will just read the whole book. Okay, আচ্ছা আমি সহজ এক্সাম্পল দিই, আমার মনে হয় সহজ এক্সাম্পল দিলে সহজ হবে। তুমি সবাই লাল শালু পড়েছো? সবাই পড়েছো? লাল শালু পড়েছো না? মনে করো তুমি লাল শালু পড়ছো এবং তুমি চাচ্ছো এই বইটা যেন দ্বিতীয়বার আমার না পড়া লাগে, বাট তোমাকে কোথাও এক্সামে অ্যান্সার করতে হবে, বা তোমার বইটা এত ভালো লেগেছে তোমার মনে হচ্ছে যে আমি কিছু নোটস রেখে দিই যেন আজ থেকে 5 বছর পর আমি জাস্ট নোটসগুলো দেখলে যেন মনে পড়ে লাল শালুতে কী হয়েছিল। ঠিক আছে, তো প্রথমে আমি কি করতে পারি? আমি যদি লাল শালুর কথা বলি, I can say we started with Majid, right? Majid ছিল না সেন্ট্রাল ক্যারেক্টার, and then মজিদ কি করেছিল? Came to that মোহাম্মদনগর না ভিলেজের নাম, so that village came to a village, made mazar, and then married twice. Okay, or second marriage you can say. And then what happened? There was a character called Amina, right? যার সে ডিভোর্স করায় ছাড়ে, তাই না? মাতব্বরের বউ ছিল, ঠিক আছে? সো ও এখানে কি করেছে? বিজনেস বানান বলে গেছি, কি একটা অবস্থা। বিজনেস উইথ রিলিজিয়ন, রাইট? ওকে, সুপারস্টিশনস। সুপারস্টিশন বোঝো? কুসংস্কারকে পুঁজি করে সে হচ্ছে বিজনেস করে, ঠিক আছে? অ্যান্ড দেন সে কী করেছিল? অ্যাট লাস্ট ধরা খেয়েছিল। ধরা খেয়েছিল শিওর? ও কিন্তু ধরা খায় নাই। ও ধরা খায় নাই। পাশের গ্রামে আরেকটা পীর আসছিল যার সাথে সে কম্পিটিটিভ ফিল করছিল, ওইটার কারণে তো সে আমিনার সাথে কী করে? ডিভোর্স করায় ফেলে তার হাজব্যান্ডের, ঠিক আছে? কেন? আমিনা ওর কাছ থেকে পানি পড়া আনতে গেছিল। ওকে, তারপর সে সেকেন্ড ম্যারেজ করে। সেকেন্ড ম্যারেজের বউয়ের নাম ছিল জমিলা, অ্যান্ড জমিলা ছিল একটা ঢিট, একটা প্রতিবাদী ক্যারেক্টার এখানে, ঠিক আছে? এবং কোনো একদিন মানে কোনো এক রাতে জমিলাকে সে পানিশ করতে মাজারের পাশে বসায় রাখছিল, বাট প্রচণ্ড ঝড় দেখে সে জমিলার জেদের কাছে হার মানতে বাধ্য হয়। তো এই ক্ষেত্রে তুমি বলতে পারো যে সে তার জায়গা থেকে একটু সরে আসছিল, বাট ও কিন্তু ধরা খায় নাই। এবং এখানে একটা স্কুলের কথা হচ্ছিল, তাই না? এবং স্কুলটাকে সে করতে দেয় নাই, ইনস্টেড সে মসজিদ করেছে। কেন করেছে? কারণ স্কুল করতে দিলে মানুষজন শিক্ষিত হবে, তার এখানে রিলিজিয়ন ইজ ট্রু, বাট যেখানে সে এখানে কিছু সুপারস্টিশন বসিয়েছে যেটা সে ধরা খেয়ে যেত, সেই কারণে হচ্ছে সে এটাকে আর বাড়তে দেয় নাই। তুমি যদি খুব অলস হয়ে থাকো, তুমি যদি এই নোটগুলো নিয়ে রাখো আজ থেকে 5 বছর পরে হলো তুমি যখন পড়বা তোমার মনে পড়বে এর নাম হচ্ছে মজিদ, সেন্ট্রাল ক্যারেক্টার, ঠিক আছে? অ্যান্ড দেন একটা ভিলেজে আসে, মাজার তৈরি করে, আবার সে সেকেন্ড বিয়েও করে, দেন আমেনা ডিভোর্স করায়, তার রিলিজিয়ন নিয়ে বিজনেস স্টার্ট করে, অ্যান্ড দেন হচ্ছে সুপারস্টিশন নিয়ে বিজনেস করতে করতে স্কুল হওয়ার কথা যখন হয় তখন সে কী করে, সেটাতে বাধা দেয়। বা তুমি যদি আরও কিছু নোট নিতে চাও নিতে পারো। দিস ইজ হাউ আই অ্যাকচুয়ালি রিড দ্য বুকস। এটা আমাকে অনেক হেল্প করে, স্পেশালি ওয়েন আই প্রিপেয়ার ফর এক্সামস। Okay, if you are preparing for exams, you have to read this kind of big text, then you can take help like this. So this is your note, right? You'll just write it down. You are writing maybe 100 pages a book in these few lines, and if you see this, you will just remember the story. And I gave this because this is the flow. After he came to village, then he made Majar. Okay, this is how you can just go with the story. Okay, so this is why you can make notes. Also, say I am taking classes today and you missed the main class, came late, you can ask your friend, what did teacher discuss today? Okay, if she tells you 2 or 3 topics, that you can just write it down as a note so that you can take a deeper look when you go home. Okay, or you are reading a text, okay, and you know that you have to make some comments on that text after it's done. Okay, after it's done, then what can you do? You can just make some notes. So you are listening to a speech, you can make some notes so that you can comment on that later. If you do not take notes, then you cannot remember them. Okay, how many of you love to read books, like story books, novels? You love? And you love books? Never. But you should form this habit because you are here for learning literature and language. Okay, both 50-50. Okay, so when you read a book, you do one thing, you take some important quotations or dialogues from the book and keep it on your notes because you love them. Okay, you will post them later maybe on your Facebook, right? Okay, so this is how we actually take notes. Note taking is not a big deal. Every day we take notes. Sometimes I forget that what should I do the whole day, my to-do list, and I just take notes on my phone, okay, on notepad. Okay, so this is how you need to take notes when you are reading that academic task, note making, and then you can make summaries really easily from that note. Okay, sometimes আমাদের মনে হয় যেন আমি যে সামারিটা করব কোথা থেকে স্টার্ট করব, so we end up writing the same thing that is written in the text, right? এটা অস্বীকার করতে পারবা যে যা আছে তা তুলে দিই না, ঠিক আছে? কবিতার ক্ষেত্রে পারি না, আসলে কবিতার লাইনে তুলে দেওয়া যাবে না, তো চেষ্টা করি। বাট যখন এরকম টেক্সট দেওয়া থাকে আমরা চেষ্টা করি যে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে লিখি, দেন আমরা খুঁজে পাই না কোত্থেকে লিখবো, দেন আমরা কী করি, হুবাহু লিখে দিই। ধরেন প্রথম লাইন থেকে ইউরোপিয়ান সেটেলমেন্ট নিলেন, তারপরে 4 নম্বর লাইন থেকে একটা নিলেন, 5 নম্বর লাইন থেকে একটা নিলেন, এভাবে নিয়ে নিয়ে আসলে ইম্পর্টেন্ট আর ইম্পর্টেন্ট না দেখে উই জাস্ট মেক সামথিং, ওকে, উই জাস্ট কপি অ্যান্ড পেস্ট, ওকে। বাট ইফ ইউ মেক নোটস অ্যান্ড দেন write the summary, then it will help you a lot. Let's take a look. Page number 18. Reading passage 1, European settlement of Australia. This is a really easy text, written in easy language and easy to understand. So that's why I made it a very important text for you so that you can learn note making and summary from here. Okay, so take a pen and that text. Pen is mandatory, or pencil. You can take pencil also. Where is your pencil? Okay. So we're reading the first task. আচ্ছা আমি পুরোটা ইংলিশে বললে আপনাদের কঠিন হয়ে যায় বুঝতে? Everyone. কারো কোনো সমস্যা হলে বলতে পারো, আমি একটু বাংলা বলবো। Is it okay? আমি যদি পুরোটা ইংলিশ বলি, okay? Okay. So we will just go through the text, and whenever I will feel that I have to make it important, I'll just give underline, okay? So European settlement of Australia. So my topic is European settlement of Australia, right? So you can just underline it. European settlement of Australia. Okay. Begin in 1788. Just underline 1788 because this year is really important. It started here with the British penal colony. When a British penal colony was established on the east coast. From this starting point, Australia grew rapidly and continually, expanding across the entire continent. A number of reasons, underline the reasons. Remember, your summary has to be between 70 to 80 words. Barely 7 to 8 lines. Okay? You got it? You should not make it like equal to this. No. Your summary has to be between 70 to 80 words. Okay. So, a number of reasons. Did you underline the reasons? So, we'll focus on the reasons only. Okay. Contributed to Britain's decision to colonize Australia. The most important factor was Britain's need to relieve its overcrowded prisons. Underline relieve its overcrowded prisons. This is our first reason, right? Okay. Did you underline it? Several violent incidents at overcrowded prisons convinced the British government of the need to separate unruly elements from the rest of the prison populace. So this line is similar to the previous line, right? These two says the same thing. So I don't have to underline it because we will not exaggerate, we will shorten it. Okay. Additionally, Australia was one of the strategic importance to Britain. So underline strategic importance. And it provided a base for the Royal Navy. Underline base for the Royal Navy. This is the third reason. Also, Australia could be used as an entry point to the economic opportunities to the surrounding regions. Underline entry point and then underline economic opportunities. Got it? Okay, so this was our fourth reason. All these points figured in the decision by Lord Sydney, Secretary of State of Home Affairs, to authorize colonization. So, who authorized colonization? Who authorized colonization? Who gave the permission? Lord Sydney. So, you just can underline Lord Sydney. Okay. To this effect, on May 13, 1787. Now, you will see many dates. Did you notice that you got 3 to 4 dates here, right? So if you just underline all of them, your sentences will be a lot. Okay, so you don't have to underline all of them. You just make your writing precise. So we'll just we focused on the beginning of colonization, 1788, right? We underlined that, and then we will underline when it was finally colonized. Just 2. Okay, so we are not underlining this one. To this effect, on May 13, 1787, we are not underlining it. Captain Arthur Phillip. So Captain Arthur Phillip, commanding 11 ships full of convicts, left Britain for Australia. So who actually leaded the navy? So you can just underline Captain Arthur Phillip. He successfully landed a full fleet at Botany Bay. Where did they land? Don't underline. Okay, just read the whole thing, and then if you feel it's important, then underline. Botany Bay on January 18, 1788. However, they left the bay. So it was not their final settlement because they left the bay 8 days later because of its openness and poor soil, and settled instead at Port Jackson. Where did they settle? Port Jackson. So underline Port Jackson. A few kilometers north. The ship landed 1373 people, including 732 convicts, and the settlement became Sydney. Where was this Port Jackson? Sydney. Okay. Australia Day is now celebrated on 26th January. How did it become 26th January? They said they landed on Botany Bay on 18th January, and 8 days later they landed on Port Jackson. So 18 and 8, 26. Is it clear? Okay, so 26th January is their Australia Day. So underline Australia Day and then underline 26th January. That's it. Okay, now we read the text once only. Now let us check if our note making would help us. Clear? Okay. European settlement of Australia, I just underlined that. 1788. What was the year? Why did we? Settlement started at 1788. Okay. And then reasons. Okay. How many reasons did we find? 4. There were 4 reasons. First was strategic importance. Sorry. Relieve its overcrowded prisons. I'm just reading the underlined parts. Okay. Did you get that? Relieve its overcrowded prisons, the first one. Strategic importance, the second one. Base for Royal Navy, the third point. And entry point to the economic opportunities, fourth point. You got it? So who authorized the colonization? Lord Sydney. You just underlined that. Okay. And then who led the fleet? Captain Arthur Phillip. We have underlined that. Why did we underline Port Jackson? English. Because they settled in Port Jackson and it was in Sydney, and Australia Day is now celebrated on 26th January because it was the day when the fleet actually landed on Australia. Is it clear? So did we read it twice? Did we read it twice? Thoroughly? আমরা কি পুরাটা পড়েছি? পড়িনি. But the second time you read it, did you find it complete, like your idea is totally complete? Because of making the notes. But you will realize that many times you have done the same task. You have read the text once, twice and 3 times. Still you had some problems to figure out the main points. Okay, but this is how you just read once and you make notes, and when you are reading the notes, you just made your idea really clear. You just can make now summary. But before that, let's make the notes from here. So you can make at least 10 notes from here. But in your exam, I will ask you to make 5 important notes as precise as possible. Okay? As precise as possible. So the shorter your notes are, the more marks you will get from me. If your note looks like it started from here and ended here, and you have written 5 notes, then you will get maybe 0.1, okay, or 1 or 0.5. Okay, and if your notes looks like this much shorter, like 1 words or 2 words, then you will get 5 out of 5. You got it? You got the point? Because I asked to make it precise, not longer. Okay, and also we'll learn how to make a precise decision or a precise note longer. We have this task in page number 19, the last task, passage 3. You got that? Short sentences, you just have to make the story bigger. Okay? Okay, so page number 18, back to page number 18. So we are making some notes. Okay? So the first note can be started at when? 1780. Second notes can be reasons. What are the reasons? 4 লাগবে না, just reasons বলেন. What are the reasons? Okay. Relieve over, you don't have to use is is an extra word. Relieve overcrowded prisons. Then strategic importance. Then base for Royal Navy. Okay. Then make it economic opportunities. Okay. Okay. So what can be the third point? Lord, authorized by Lord Sydney. Okay. authorized এখন আপনার যদি বাই লিখতে ইচ্ছে না করে লর্ড সিডনি clear make it shorter as short as possible next one Navy lead Arthur Phillip. I just have to understand it. I don't have to make it, totally full sentence. I have to make it the full meaning. No, I just have to understand that the Navy was led by Captain Arthur Phillip or Arthur Phillip. Okay, next can be Australia Day, 26th January. You can just make it. Say Australia Day, 26th January. Now don't make it like Australia Day 26th Jan. No, don't do this, okay? Okay, is it clear? So if I ask you to make 5 notes, you just have to make 5 notes. If you want to skip the second one, so add something else which will be shorter, okay? But I think the second note is really important, right? This is the gist of the story or the whole text, so you have to add it. Okay, done? So now we will go to the note making. Okay, let's just first read. Okay, just focus on how I read the underlined words only. Okay, I will read the underlined words only, and this is our summary. Okay, European settlement of Australia started at 1788. Okay. The reasons were to relieve its overcrowded prisons, to make a base for Royal Navy, and access the entry point to the economic opportunities, and it was strategically important to Britain. You got the 4 points?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lord Sydney authorized colonization, and Captain Arthur Phillip led the fleet and landed on Port Jackson on 26th January, Port Jackson, Sydney on 26th January, which is now Australia Day. Okay? It will be 60 to 70 words hardly, right? So that's your summary. That's it. Make it precise and simple. Is it clear? Okay, so I guess you guys can try to write it now. Can you do it? Inshallah. You have the underlined words. Okay, just focus on the underlined words. And also the 4 reasons, I actually puzzled them, right? Rearranged, because the sentence structure was not matching. That's why I just rearranged them. If you have any queries, if you have any problem, then let me know. This is why everyone needs the notes. Is it clear why I just send you on the ground floor to bring the notes? Now, তোমাদের মধ্যে থেকে একজনের কোশ্চেন ছিল, ম্যাম এই শীট থেকে কি করব, কে আসছে? ওকে মেল করেছিল, কি করব বুঝতেছি না, যে ক্লাসে আসে না ওকে বুঝবে এখান থেকে কি করতে হবে, কারণ এই টাস্কটার নিচে কি দেওয়া আছে, ফিল ইন দ্য ব্ল্যাঙ্কস দেওয়া আছে, তাই না? বাট এখান থেকে আমি নোট মেকিং শিখাচ্ছি, সামারিও শিখাচ্ছি, অ্যান্ড ফিল ইন দ্য ব্ল্যাঙ্কস শিখাচ্ছি। যে ক্লাসে আসেনি সে ভাববে এটা শুধু ফিল ইন দ্য ব্ল্যাঙ্কসের জন্য, সে কিন্তু এই যে সামারি মেকিংটা আছে না, এটা আপনার অনেক জায়গায় কাজে লাগবে। জব সেক্টর বলেন, জবের এক্সাম বলেন, আপনি বিভিন্ন কম্পিটিটিভ এক্সামে যান, আপনি ইংলিশ ডিপার্টমেন্ট টিচারের জন্য কোথাও পজিশনে অ্যাপ্লাই করেন, এগুলোতে যে আপনার লাগবে, ওর লাইফের অনেক ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট একটা ক্লাস মিস করে ফেললো না, ইউটিউবে তো সে মনোযোগ দিয়ে দেখবে না, দেখলে তো হয়েই যেত। দিস ইজ ওয়াই ইউ শুড অলওয়েজ জয়েন দ্য ক্লাসেস। First make notes and then make the summary from that note. Take pictures. You don't have sheet, right? So take picture. There is a boy whom I sent to bring the sheet. Where is it? Where is it? What's his name? Are you sure? Was that Umayr? ওখানে একটা ছেলে ছিল, ওকে বলবা আমার সাথে দেখা করতে, ঠিক আছে? ও যে ক্লাস থেকে গেছে এরপরে আর আসে নাই। 40 মিনিট 40 মিনিট তাই বলে ওনাকে বললেই তো উনি দিয়ে যেত, তো ক্লাসটাতে অ্যাটেন্ড করতে হবে। তোমরা নতুন নতুন আসছো তো, তোমাদেরকে এগুলোও শেখানো লাগে। হাউ টু ওয়ার্ক স্মার্টলি, একটা ক্লাস নেই মনে, হাউ টু ওয়ার্ক স্মার্টলি উইদাউট ওয়েস্টিং টাইম। Anas, you're not writing? Try writing the summary, okay? Are you done? This is the course where you can achieve A+ really easily. Okay, this course and then reading and writing. Okay, this first semester courses are for A+. You just have to study a bit, and this is the most the question pattern will be like, if you write I can give you some marks. The pattern will be like that. Are you done? Okay, so in exam you will write these notes like this, as short as possible. Summary: European settlement of Australia started in 1718. The reasons for the settlement were two. Were to relieve its overcrowded prisons. Okay. Also, it provided an entry point to the economic opportunities, and that was, and if you use this pronounce again and again, it's not easily understandable, so you can make Australia was one of the strategic importance to Britain. You missed one actually. There was to provide an entry point relieve its overcrowded prisons, comma. It provided a base for the Royal Navy. You missed that point. Okay. Okay. It was authorized by Lord Sandley, and the Navy was led by Captain Arthur Phillip. Firstly, the settlement was at Port Jackson, and then it's settled. Port Jackson is in Sydney. No, আগে অন্যটা ছিল, আরেকটা কি জানি নাম, নাও তো সেটা দেখি। প্রথমটা ছিল হচ্ছে বোটানি বে, skip that. Okay, so you can say that they settled at Port Jackson, comma, Sydney. Okay, on 26th January. Okay, you have to make it understandable why Australia Day is celebrated on 26th January. Because they settled at Port Jackson, Sydney on 26th January. So 26th January is celebrated as Australia Day. Also, you can say the day is celebrated now as Australia Day. Clear? Done? Serial. European settlement of Australia started at, okay, 1788. Some of the main reasons were to relieve its overcrowded prisons. Okay. Whose overcrowded prisons? Britain's, right? Right? Britain's overcrowded prisons. To provide base for the Royal Navy to access entry point and access power journal to access the entry point to the economic opportunities, and especially it was one of the strategically important or strategic importance. Okay, so when you are writing the summary, you have to try to make the words twisted, like a bit different. So you can say strategically important to Britain. Okay, Lord Sydney authorized the colonization, and Captain Arthur is supposed to be capital. P is supposed to be capital. Arthur Phillip led the journey, led the fleet. What is the meaning of fleet? A group of ship going to invade something. Okay. And landed at Port Jackson. P is supposed to be capital. J is supposed to be capital. S is supposed to be capital. Port Jackson, Sydney on 26th January. The day is celebrated as Australia Day now. Okay, the settlement of Australia from British penal colony. Okay, you can say started in 1788. But if you want to add this, you can say Britain. Who started the settlement? Britain. Okay. Some major reasons were to relieve Britain's overcrowded prisons, and Australia being the strategic importance to Britain. Besides, Australia provided a base for the Royal Navy and conveyed economic opportunities. Nice. Lord Sydney authorized the colonization, while Arthur Phillip led the fleet to Port Jackson, Sydney on 26th January, thus making it the Australia Day. It was really nice. I want to read it aloud for all of your friends later, because I gave him 10 out of 10. Okay, it was really nice. Reasons to relieve overcrowded prisons. Australia was strategically, okay, you can say strategically important, okay, to Britain, because you are changing the form of the sentence. It provided, okay, comma, provided a base for the Royal Navy. It, okay, also we're adding extra points. Okay, it could be used as entry point to the economic opportunities. Okay. Colonization was authorized. The authorization decision was given by Lord Sydney, authorized by Lord Sydney, but Captain Arthur Phillip was okay. He landed at Botany Bay, Sydney. Okay. He actually okay. Right. And left left after 8 days and settled at Port Jackson. Now Port Jackson on 26th January. Okay. Now 26th January. you just wrote Jan. I told you not to. He's Australia Day. So he just wrote 26th Jan. I told you not to write it. Okay. Anyone else who wants me to check the script? Okay, where is that boy? He got 10 out of 10. Okay, read it aloud.
European settlement of Australia started in 1788 by Britain. Some major reasons were to relieve Britain's overcrowded prisons and Australia being the strategic importance to Britain. Besides, Australia provided a base for the Royal Navy and conveyed economic opportunities. Lord Sydney authorized the colonization while Arthur Phillip led the fleet to Port Jackson, Sydney on 26th January, thus making it the Australia.
It was really nice and precise, okay? Clap for him. Now I have some advice for you. You got 10 out of 10, but you have to work on your handwriting. How can you do that?
Practice for
How?
Khata likhe.
Which kind of, khata?
Line.
Exactly. You can use Bangla খাতা, অথবা তুমি হচ্ছে ইংলিশের যে রোল করা খাতাটা থাকে না, বাচ্চাকালে আমরা লিখতাম, তুমি জাস্ট ওটাতে 1 মাস লিখো and then you will see the difference. Okay, you're really good at writing, so you have to focus on reading, listening and speaking. Okay, reading and handwriting, please. ও লিখেছে অনেক ভালো, বাট হ্যান্ডরাইটিং এটা অনেকের ক্ষেত্রেই হয়। এখন হ্যান্ডরাইটিং ভালো হওয়ার ইম্পর্টেন্স কি? লাইক your teachers judges you on the basis of your writing style, not on handwriting. But still, making handwriting neat and clean is important. Why? To make it easily understandable. It gives a good vibe, The handwriting is really good. Whether he or she has written something bad, but the handwriting is good. Who was that? He's that guy? You did it? You did it? But your face looks so innocent. It's like, ma'am, আমি জানি না ক্লাসে কি হচ্ছে, আমি তো বুঝতেছি না। Okay, it's okay. আচ্ছা, রেকর্ডিংটা অফ করে ফেলি, I guess that's enough.